Hi beauties, welcome back to our channel and welcome to yet another video, but this one is a special one because rather than chatting about our typical vegan beauty stuff, we are going to be talking about a subject that's very close to my heart, which is finding your passion and purpose in life. I'm really excited to share some of my top tips with you, as well as some of my personal journey of how I got to be where I am today and how I kind of got through my early 20s of not really knowing what my path is, finding that path, exploring different interests, and getting to a place where I feel really happy and at peace with my purpose in life. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips on finding your passion and purpose. And I'm going to try to keep it very practical and give you the knowledge that I've learned over the years, but also give you tips that I feel like are very applicable to wherever you are in your life. So if you're feeling like you're in a funk, or maybe you're in that stage of life when you're not really sure which path to take, I hope that you'll find this video helpful. And now, without further ado, let's jump into it. First, let's just chat a little bit about what passions and purpose are and why it's so important to find those in your life. Your passion can be, your interest, something that really sparks your soul on fire, something that you do for work or outside of work, and something that just makes you feel like you want to get out of bed, like it gives your life that meaning, gives you that extra push, and just really makes you excited and brings that spark of joy into your life. And your purpose can be, something a little bit larger, maybe your path in life, and that could be something a little bit deeper, maybe more spiritual. It doesn't have to be tied to an activity. It can be maybe the way you make people feel, the energy you bring to people, maybe you help people heal. It could be something really much deeper and something very individual, and you don't have to tie that necessarily to, how you make money. So I would definitely say that finding both of those things in life can be a task that seems extremely overwhelming, especially if you put a lot of pressure on those tasks. We're really here on this earth to have fun and to explore, and your passions are meant to be a vehicle for just that. So try not to put too much pressure on that before we start. Now, my first tip in this process is to really get comfortable with yourself and get familiar with yourself. Of course, getting to know yourself is a journey, but I would say you want to start by eliminating any noise or chatter that you have in your head about who you believe that you should be. That could be noise, from your parents, from the society you grew up in, from maybe what you read, social media, your friend group, anything like that. You want to try to have a clear mind and a blank slate. So rather than looking without, you can look within. For me personally, I did feel like I grew up with a lot of pressures to be a certain way, and it took me years and years to get rid of those and to understand that I can choose my own path and I don't have to fall into, what my family thought I should become or what the society I grew up in told me to be. And that realization is very freeing, and it really opens you up to all these careers that you may not have considered before, or these interests that you may have thought are not appropriate for you, or you're not meant for them. So really eliminating all that chatter can help you find what's truly in your heart. Okay, now my second tip, once you have that clear mind, and I think this is the most important tip that people often fail to do, is to explore. Really get curious and put some action behind wanting to find your passions. A lot of the times I hear people saying, I really want to know what my purpose is, but they're not doing anything. It's not just gonna fall from the sky. You're not just going to wake up one day being like, I found my passion. You have to really do the work and you have to explore. So exploring may mean, reading various books about various topics, maybe reading autobiographies, getting inspired by other people and what they have done. It could be talking to other people in various careers that you may be interested in, trying to get, informational interviews, maybe even DMing people on social media, just asking them questions about their careers, trying to find out what their life is like doing a certain career, pushing yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone and pursuing those little interests in your heart. Let's say, you like drawing. Okay, take a drawing class, maybe take a painting class, see what else is out there. And if you are looking to find a purpose career-wise, definitely hands down get experience, get internships, get, entry-level jobs, maybe just shadow someone for a day. Whatever you can do to actually put yourself in that environment is going to be 100 times more worth it than reading about it or studying it, because you will never really know whether you truly like something until you try it. when you do go out there and start exploring, my third tip is to observe and record your experience. So try to pay attention to your feelings and emotions when you are, on the dream job potentially, or doing the hobby or pursuing an interest. How are you feeling? Are you feeling, excited? Are you feeling drained? Does that job or activity fill you up with, warm feelings inside? Do you feel like you want to share that with your friends, or do you feel exhausted after the day? Make sure that you're really paying attention to what's going on inside as you engage in those activities. And if you want, you can even journal about it just so you can look back at your experiences, and that way you can weed out the ones that really bring you joy. And you can also do this retroactively. So you can start by just taking out a piece of paper and writing down the things that already that bring you fulfillment. So maybe even looking back at your childhood, what were some of the things that you could do for days on end or hours on end and you wouldn't even realize where the day has gone? I know for me that growing up was creating things with my hands. I loved doing arts and crafts. I loved sewing. I loved doing puzzles. Anything I could do with my hands, I just loved. And I remember spending days and days on doing that. And those were really the activities that I got myself lost in. So what were some of those activities for you? Start thinking back to that, and maybe you can explore that in real life now. So now we've looked within, we've gone out there and explored, we've observed, we've made notes. Now, we should be in a good position where we kind of have certain interests, certain passions identified, right? So my fourth tip at this stage is to set realistic expectations. That means that not every passion is going to become a money-making opportunity. Not every passion has to become a career, and not every passion has to become your purpose. Passions are important in life because, like I mentioned, they bring you meaning, they bring you joy, happiness. It's something that you look forward to doing, and they don't have to be productive. Setting realistic expectations can really help you take pressure off of some of those passions and allow you to pursue them in a more comfortable way. For example, for me personally, I love knitting and crocheting. It's so fun, so relaxing for me, and just something that I pursue as a way to quiet down my mind after a hard day. From the very beginning, I set an expectation for myself of I'm not going to try to now sell anything I make, create a business around anything I make. I'm not going to put any type of pressure on this hobby. I am just doing this strictly for fun, and I'm not going to try to monetize this. Now, when it comes to passions that you do want to monetize, maybe your career purpose, for myself, that was creating the Vegan Warehouse, this business, right? That was a passion that from day one, I knew I want this to be my career. I am going to have to monetize it. But I was also realistic in my expectation of, I know that this is not going to bring me income from day one, because building a business takes time, and I was realistic about that. So if you're wanting to pursue something as a career, make sure that you first have a money generating job. So that can just be, working in a restaurant. For me, it was just a 9-to-5 job at an office. If you from day one expect your passion to bring you income, you might get very discouraged because that doesn't typically happen. And I know that there's all these examples on social media that can make it seem like that's the case, but it is really not. It takes years for people to build up their businesses into what you see online now. This brings me to my final tip, number 5, which is take consistent action. After you have identified some areas in your life that can become your passions or your purpose, you need to make sure that you take consistent action on them and really immerse yourself in that lifestyle. And that way you become more and more passionate about that, and you also grow your skills in that area. As different challenges come up, you might, question that purpose. You might say, well, if it's really my purpose, it should be easy. I think that's a misconception. A purpose is something you have to work on every single day. Every day you have to wake up and choose starting your business, choose being an entrepreneur, or choose being a creative. And yeah, it does take work. So it goes back to those expectations. I think it's easier just to explore all these little passions and little dreams that your heart has. And as you do that, you pivot, you change course, and you keep exploring. So there you have it, guys, my top 5 tips for finding your passions and pursuing your purpose in life. I really hope that you find these helpful. Definitely, it's a lot of my personal experiences and things that I thought that definitely helped me in life. But definitely share your number 1 top tip in the comments so we can all learn from one another. And as always, please make sure to support our channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe because we put up new videos every single Friday.